To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
The magic is calling, calling, calling us. It's calling, calling, calling us to the place where all of our dreams come true. The most magical place on earth. Answer the call. Feel the magic everywhere. Bring every dream we dream to life. Share the wonder, share the light. Oh, imagine a world for you and me. Where all that we have to do is believe. The magic is calling, calling, calling us. It's calling, calling, calling us to the place where all of our dreams come true. The most magical place on earth. Answer the call. The magic is calling, calling, calling us. It's calling, calling, calling us to the place where all of our dreams come true. The most magical place on earth. Magical place on earth. Magical place on
What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night. It's another magical interview. I am ecstatic tonight. We get to sit down with somebody who you guys may not know, but knows a ton about Disney. And I want to bring them into your living room tonight and put another fantastic content creator right out there for you guys to check out. So welcome in, everybody. Let's get this party started. It's going to be a celebration tonight of Disney and Universal SeaWorld. You're going to hear a little about it all tonight on the channel. It's Dean in the live place. We thank Dean for everything he does, recognizing over 150 family-friendly channels. All he does on theliveplace.com and right here on YouTube. Proud of my partner channels. I've got 7 amazing partner channels for the Disney content. All of their logos can be found right on the front of my YouTube page. Chaotic Crusaders, they do so much for the channel that you don't know. You'll hear about them throughout the show, and we'll talk about them in depth. Start out by talking with Dan with Disney Worlders, partnering with him, 20+ thousand strong on his Facebook group. Does a great job. I've got 6 amazing executive producers that bring you the content right here on the channel. If you don't know about it, we can share that with you. Just reach out to me. These guys are fantastic, and ladies. Find all of their direct links on the front of my YouTube page, and all of their information can now be found in full at PeteMcDivittShow.com. It's our website. Check it out. Check it out. We're prominently featured on Facebook. We've got a group. We've got a page. We're working it out over there. We're TikToking. We're Instagramming, trying to keep on top of all of the social media aspects. And if you're not talking over in our Discord, we're talking Disney, we're talking magic, we're talking sports. It's everything. 200+ friends over there in Discord. You need to get on there right now. One of my moderators will drop the link for the Discord. It's an amazing, amazing section. We have membership. It's optional on our channel if you'd like to do it. We have 4 different tiers available. Membership is brought to you each week by amazing Zoelle's World and Bina Jean-Claire. She's an incredible lady supporting our channel in full. Jean-Claire Wise Travel is an upscale travel design and consulting firm specializing in curating ultra-luxurious travel destinations designed specially for business professionals, focusing to deliver the once-in-a-lifetime experience that will create lasting memories, encompassing adventures in Europe or the Americas, luxurious river cruises, relaxing beach getaways, or detailed trips to Disney locations worldwide. Jean-Claire Wise Travel personalizes the experience. What rich and exciting moments do you want to create for yourself this year? Well, start writing your story with a Jean-Claire Wise Travel today. Hey, we've got a P.O. Box. We love to get mail over at the P.O. Box. Preston loves to open it. We would love for you to shoot us over some mail. One of my monitors will drop that link as well. Hey, there's a lot of charity stuff going on. Phantasmic Chronicles is doing something over on their channel, benefiting a fundraiser for a kids again. It's an amazing information. You can find out about it from Tony. Check out Phantasmic Chronicles and all that he's doing, and to tell you more about that charity event. Living the magic, constantly working hard over for Give Kids the World. A lot of our creators in our community are going to be spotlighting Give Kids the World. We'll have more information on that coming up in the very short time coming. The ladies of YouTube are killing it. We highlight and encourage all of these incredible lady creators, our female leaders. They are amazing. Check them out in our community. If you see that logo up there, you can check them out. If you don't know who they are, reach out to me. I'll be glad to talk to you about any of these ladies at any time. We've got a membership call coming September 13th, a little over a week away, 11:30 to 12. Members, make your note in your calendar. If you're a moderator, you want to be a moderator. If you're a brand new moderator, we've got a tutorial class. It's free. We teach people to be moderators to help you get better. We want this community as strong as it can be. I teach this class for free with the help of my 10 Moduneer supporters. So reach out to me for a link to that. It's free, absolutely free. Why wouldn't you want to jump on in? November the 19th is our next series of our Hall of Fame inductions. That will be the announcement of everybody that's eligible, characters, and a button reveal. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. I'm excited. And finally, coming up in June, we have our Disney Community Annual Hangout, June 23rd to the 25th. It's going to be a blast here in Baltimore. Reach out to me. We can get you all information for that is being posted in the Discord. We'll keep up there. We want you to join. It'll be a lot of fun. My guests tonight, they are absolutely amazing people, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to sit down and talk with the Noble Way. Let me tell you, with 30 years of experience, they've been vacationing everywhere, especially all over Orlando. They know Disney, they know the Springs, they know Paris, Disney, they know California, they know the studios, City Walk, SeaWorld, Gatorland. If it's a land park or anything around it, they know it in the United States, and I'm excited to sit down and talk with two people who will share the tricks, the tips, the information, and all it is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the channel for the first time, hanging out with me, the Noble Way. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Hello.
Good. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for taking the time to sit in with us tonight. I hope that a ton of people in this great chat get to know you tonight. I see that William is here and Serpum and Debbie already jumping in. Alexis Noble is here. That would be a family member I would take from that. Ride the Teacups is in-house, UNC Panther, and so many others. I'll say hi to you guys as we go along. I want to get to my guests tonight, though. I guess we should start out by a simple, just, introduction. I guess that's always the best way when you meet somebody. So how about a little introduction for you to everybody out there that's watching either on live or on the replay?
You want me to go? You want to go? I'll go. She poked me under the table and said, "You go."
I was like,
So I'll go
first.
I'll start. I'm Steve Noble. Obviously, the name The Noble Way comes from our family name. I've always liked our last name. I feel like we have a cool last name, Noble. It's a cool one, so we went with it because it has lots of different meanings. The word noble, and it's just a cool word. But I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. Born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. Had a good family. Honestly, I had a really good family, tight knit family. Great sisters, great parents. I wasn't super popular in school, growing up, to be honest. I wasn't like a super popular kid. I was a little heavy. I used humor, in my life. I've just kind of been this like kind of goofy, humorous kind of character my entire life, I think,
Right.
to, get people's attention, get people to warm up and like me. And somehow I met this one over here that, I don't know, saw past all the things that most people, look away from. And I won her with my charms. I won her with my charms. Yeah.
That's what he tells himself.
So it's a little bit about me.
Whatever it takes, you won. So
Yes,
that's a good
I
thing.
grew up in Cincinnati as well.
Okay.
Born and raised until we moved here. So for 43 years, I lived in Fairfield, Ohio, which is right by Cincinnati. And we met in church, actually.
Awesome.
And I was 12 and he was 14.
Cool.
So we've been on and off since then, married for almost 26 years now. I grew up, I was the youngest of 5, so I was the baby of the family. My sister Kelly from LA is watching right now. Hi, Kelly. Yeah, and I was the youngest of 5. We went to the beach for vacations in North Carolina. We went to the beach, went fishing, deep sea fishing, fished on the piers. I never went to Disney. I didn't even have the Disney Channel. And then I always wanted to go. He and I went he and I met, and he promised me, because we became best friends and then we started being boyfriend and girlfriend. He promised me that one day he would take me, because he got to go all the time. And so for our honeymoon, that's where he took me.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's where we went. And the rest is history. And she fell, obviously she had always wanted to go. She fell in love with it too. Getting to see her on our honeymoon, we walked in down Main Street, got in front of the Cinderella Castle, and the Mickey and Minnie. I don't remember the name of the show back then, but the stage show was going on.
With the castle, the cake castle.
Yeah, and it was during the 50th, during the anniversary, 25th anniversary of the cake, when it was a giant pink cake that most people say they hated, but we loved it because it was our, it was our honeymoon. And, getting to see her face, and she started crying, on that first day we walked in there. And I was just like, it was just really cool, because it was like years and years of us talking about it when we were kids. And then it was a really special moment. And it's just been a part of our lives the rest of the time. We have kids too. We have 3 kids, and they also love Disney, and we raised them up as a Disney home, Disney family, went to a vacation every single year there. And they're huge fans of Disney as well.
Oh, I love it. Well, I want to welcome in real quick too. KFP Fashion Boutique said the cake ornament, highlighting out. Kelly from Mio is here. Thank you. Hello, welcome in. First off, a couple things, everybody watching. One, if you want to ask questions to my guest tonight, highlight with the @ symbol Pete McDivitt Show, and I will look for your questions. What's up, D-Man? Welcome to see you. I'll check out your questions. I'll try to incorporate those into the interview as we go along. I'll also ask you tonight, as you're watching tonight, if you're brand new to my guests, my moderators will be dropping their links in throughout the night. Their direct links can also be found in the description and body of this interview. If you're having a good time, if you like my guest, if you check out their content, by all means, hit that button and give them a follow and check out more of their content. And if you like these interviews that I'm doing tonight, help me out and give me a follow tonight. I've got Disney content creators coming all the time. Let's jump in here first. You mentioned, obviously, I was your wife's first with going on your when you went down there for your honeymoon. How about for you, Steve? Where did your love of Disney start? How far back did that go?
Literally as far back as I can remember. That was my family's vacation spot of choice. Like, that's where we went when I was a baby. I don't remember anything when I was a baby, but basically all the way back to I was the smallest memory that I can think of. We went to Disney. We went other places periodically, but for the most part, it was like a yearly Disney trip. We would always go. And I remember we would always stay at Fort Wilderness in the actual cabins. Back when they were trailers, if you remember Fort Wilderness, when they were trailers, they put all this fancy wood siding up on them, now, and renovated them in the inside, and they were, they're cabins now. But back then they were trailers, and I just remember loving that. My sisters and I, we would ride all around Fort Wilderness, and we would always get the golf cart. And I always wished I could drive the golf cart, but I was too young to drive the golf cart. And we just always stayed there. A lot of other places too, but it started for me when I was very, very young, and it stuck with me.
Very cool. Very cool. My guests tonight, everybody, are featured over on Instagram under, obviously, A Noble Way. They're featured here on YouTube with 1.23K followers currently. Hopefully get a couple more tonight. They got 754 channel views. Started with an inauguration of their channel in September of 21. 361 videos currently posted. They're also featured with a Facebook page and over on TikTok with 424 followers. As you talk and came up with your channel, obviously you talked a little bit about your name for how you did it, but let's talk for a minute how you both came up with the platform plan for your channel. Obviously, as I talked about at the beginning, you guys have a fondness, yes, for Disney, and you do know Disney, but you also have a lot of other content that you bring magically from other locations on your channel. Talk to me a little bit about how you came up with the concept for your channel plan.
I will. She poked me again, so we're going to keep going. So I'll answer. You just jump in when you want to jump in. But basically, we moved down here about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I've always wanted to live in Florida, always wanted to live near Disney. Basically, our 2 boys moved down to Orlando, and then eventually our daughter moved down. And I'm a huge family person, so for us it was like, see you later, we're gone, we're moving. There's no way that we can't stay in Cincinnati. We got to be in Orlando. And so when we came down here, really, it was just kind of like, what do we do? What do we do with our time? We like to do things together, just find things to do as a hobby and things that we like to do. And, my daughter had been showing us all these videos. She would always pull up these YouTube videos of people doing vlogs and YouTube content and all this stuff. And she kept saying, she's like, you guys, you should do that because, you've got good personalities. You know a lot about it. Maybe you should kind of do that. And I just kept looking at it and I'm like, maybe we should, because we were always the family for years, all growing up. When our kids were growing up, people around us would always come to us, right? They would always say, hey, we're going to do a Disney vacation. We're going to do a Universal vacation. We're going to do a SeaWorld vacation, whatever. We're going down to Florida to the beach. And they would always ask us for advice because they were like, you're the family who knows everything about this stuff because you're always there. And I was like, we should, instead of just one-off telling people one at a time when they ask us, we should just put all that in videos and just put it out there to the world, which is kind of why we refer to it as the noble way, because it's our, how would we do Disney? If you want to know how the professionals, quote unquote, it's not that we're pros per se, but I calculated it out at one point. We've done 25,000 hours in the parks or something. It's just an insane amount of time. So we've learned a lot of stuff, what to do, what not to do, how to do things. And we were like, we should just put this online because we're at the parks almost every day anyway. Let's just start recording them and putting them online and see if people like it and if it's helpful, because we don't do it for money. We're not doing it for fame or views or anything. We just want to do it to help people. We just think it's an amazing community and we have the same passions. And again, like I said, we've spent so much time at other parks too, as Universal, SeaWorld, Gatorland, all these different areas. So we just do a breadth of content, plus restaurant reviews and things too, right? All the different restaurants. People are people always ask us, and a lot of our content comes from what people ask us, which is where would you eat at this particular location? What are the best places, the cheapest places? What are the best beaches to go to if you're planning a Disney trip? So that's kind of how the channel came about. It was just
and I'm going to dig deeper into that playlist in just a little bit because I love what you're doing with that. I want to highlight real quick. Wonderful Water Walter said, hey, what is your guys' favorite place to travel as a family?
Us? Well, it was Disney. So I still say Disney.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's changed. We all live down here now. All of our kids and us. And I still think going to the parks at Disney is still our favorite thing to do. We do love Clearwater too. We spent Labor Day in Clearwater at Clearwater Beach and went to Frenchie's over there. That's our favorite restaurant to eat there. And so we love going there. Florida is definitely our favorite destination because there's so much to do.
Okay, I love that. Absolutely love that. Let's talk for a minute about channels that you love. Okay, channels that are all about you. When you started this, you mentioned that your daughter watched a lot of videos and things of that nature that brought you into that mix. What are some of the channels? And I always preface this by saying, hey, we're not going to mention every last channel in the world, so don't everybody get fired up. But just some of the channels that come to your mind, your thoughts for, hey, these are some of the people that inspired us to do this.
Well, I'll start this one. I know my daughter always was talking about Tim Tracker, Tim Tracker, and she would turn it on, and we would watch Tim Tracker. We would watch him with her and Jen, and I don't know. She just always. We would go to the parks even before I knew who Tim Tracker was. She's like, I hope I see Tim Tracker. I'm like, who is Tim Tracker? So we enjoy watching them. Rick's Flicks.
Yeah. So now every time we bump into Tim at the parks, we always FaceTime our daughter and say, "Can you say hi to my daughter?"
Yeah, and he does, by the way.
And he does. He's such a great guy. So, I mean, there are the big ones, right? Like Tim Tracker. We do, Rick's Flicks for Universal primarily, right? JoJo's World. I love JoJo.
Yeah,
he's a great
really
guy.
nice.
Kyle Paolo. I love him too. He's big friends with JoJo. And then there's Paging Mr. Morrow, of course. You got PC Dev. Those are all the big ones, right? And I think a lot of people know those, and I love them. They do fantastic work. But we've tried to really make a lot of friendships and inroads with some of the smaller ones as well. And so the smaller ones that I stick to, and we're sort of making good relationships with. I like to call them out. We shout them out on our channel all the time, especially when we run into them. But there's the Rogue Attraction is one that's sort of new. Tom, he's great. He's such a cool guy.
Nice.
Paul's Adventures. Yeah. What was that?
I said nice. That's a good one. That's a good channel.
Yeah. Paul's Adventures is another one. Cool K's Adventures. We talk to them quite a bit. Adventures of Mike and Steph. A couple of park hoppers. They've been around for a little bit as well. No BS Eateries is one. They've been kind of following us from the very beginning. They were like one of our first subscribers, and they go around and they do lots of restaurant reviews, and they just are fantastic people. I definitely know BS Eateries. They do great stuff. Our Life on the Go is another one. 80 Orlando, who lives in London.
We love him.
We ran into him at Epcot. Then he did a video with Tim Tracker when they opened up a new attraction around here. He slid his way in there, and it was pretty funny. He's just a funny character, 80 Orlando. Okay. So yeah, we try to shout out the smaller channels too, and we're getting to know them, and hopefully we have long-lasting friendships and like collab opportunities with them as we keep going forward.
I love it. I love it. Welcome into Tim Rempel. Good to see you. Mandy Adams, welcome in. Let's see. Genesis for Meal says, hey, what do you like better, Universal or Disney? I think we know that answer, but we'll ask anyway.
I'm going to answer. Hi, Genesis. She's my niece. My favorite is Disney. I love looking at the Disney merch. Is one of my favorite things to do is look at the merch, and Disney just has my heart. I love Universal too, but if he knows if I want to go somewhere, it's Disney.
Yeah, I mean it is. I definitely am the one who pushes more Universal than her, because she's usually I'm like, hey, let's go to Universal. She's like, let's go to Disney. But there's things that each place has that I believe are better. Universal has some things that are better. Disney has some things that are better. It just depends on what you're looking for. Yeah. So I don't even know if I could pick. I feel like for Universal, some things, for Disney, other things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For Universal, the ice cream at Fortescue's or whatever, the apple crumble. I was already thinking, should we go get some of that after this?
The butterbeer ice cream and
they have good ice cream.
Yeah.
Butterbeer ice cream. I love it. That's fantastic. I'm right with you there as well. I always like to step out of the content part and get so that people can get to know you, and hopefully we'll say, hey, this is an energetic couple that knows their stuff. I want to give them a follow. Let's talk for a second. Mandy, I'll get to your question a little bit later in the interview. If you can hang tight for me, I promise you I'll come back to that. Same with Debbie Bernfeld as well. That's part of my aunt's questions later. Guys, you're getting ahead of me. Let's talk for a second about Disney collectibles. Everybody has things that they like to collect. You know, I have some things up here behind me in our house. The bigger things, obviously, you know, for us, Jim Shore and popcorn buckets and things like that. I see one of them, yes. But tell me a little bit about, besides the ones we can see, just tell me some of your passions for what you guys like to collect.
Well, definitely for me, I have to say the ears. It's actually an obsession. And I have it on my Facebook feed. I think Facebook knows that I want to look at that. So they're always showing me the new ones, and I send screenshots to my family. I like going to the parks just to see if the new ones are there. So that's one of my favorite things. And just all the Disney merch in general. Mm-hmm. What about Universal? I know our, one of my daughter's boyfriend, which he also does videos with the Noble Way, Nick. He likes the Harry Potter little figurines. Yeah. I know he collects those.
Okay. Very cool.
For me, it sounds maybe weird because I'm an adult, but stuffed animals. Like, I'm such a huge fan of stuffed animals. Like, I don't know how to, and it's like every time we go to Disney, I go and I look in the stuffed animals section, and I'm like, just kind of, I like the way they feel, and I just like stuffed animals, so I'm collecting them. And then the other thing I would say I collect isn't really a collectible. It's popcorn. Like
snacks.
It's snacks. Like, I am a snacker all the way.
I love it. I love it. Tim, I'll give you some advice while nobody's listening. Go with plush. It sounds so much more like you're sophisticated.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It's plush instead of stuffed animal. That's the good advice. Yeah.
But you know what? That's a great thing, because this is why I asked that question. We can get to know the people, because honestly, for the three of us, we sit here as three adults. You all are in, I assume like your kitchen area. I'm in my studio here. But realistically, we're three 10-year-olds sitting down there looking up at the carousel, eating a Mickey ice cream. One of us has got popcorn, thinking, man, what can we do next? And that's the great thing about this, is this magic of Disney and brings us to and allows us to do. So I love that, getting to know you there. Let's talk about this for a second. I didn't talk about this in pre-interviews with you, so I'm curious to ask, have you all done any cruises? And if no, is cruising something part of your long-term plan? Like, I see Steve making a look, so he's kind of looking over here to the boss. Talk to me about cruises.
We've never taken a cruise.
Yeah, I was wondering if this was going to come up, and I was like, too. We've never been on a cruise ever in our lives.
I get seasick, but people say you wouldn't get seasick. You don't get seasick if you take certain, but that's kind of why I have never been on a cruise. But I do want to go on the Disney Wish now. So we'll see.
I see Robert and Liz just popped in there, and I just wanted to shout them out because they're literally always on every one of our videos and commenting, and we love them and thank them. So I just saw them pop in. There's lots of other people I need to say hi to too, but I just happen to notice them right there. So.
I'm going to call a timeout. I'm going to call a timeout on you for a second before you answer your cruise thing. First, I'll say hello to Mickey's girls, because if I don't, then y'all goes crazy. Robert and Liz Forever, are they channel creators? Are they?
No, they watch all of our stuff.
Just our friends.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're great people.
And see,
now I keep trying to meet them in the parks because they come to the parks all the time too, and I'm like, hey, we should hang out, but we haven't connected yet. So maybe
Robert
we'll
and
connect
Liz,
soon.
make that happen. That's the best thing about going down to Disney is making new family and friends you didn't know you have. And Robert and Liz, I want to thank you for supporting a Disney creator by watching their content. Shout out to you today. Let me come back to you on the cruise question, Steve. Where were you on that?
Yeah. Well, okay, so for me, I didn't say this all when I was about my whole background growing up, but I like to do lots of things. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of an energetic person. I definitely don't have the personality where we're very laid back and just chill and mellow. So sorry for everyone who likes that and hates what I do, but it is what it is. I just am, I always want to be doing things. And for me, every time we think about doing a cruise, I'm never really sure if it would be right for us because I like to do a lot of stuff. And I feel like I would get to a point where I'm like, now what do we do? We're on the boat. But the ones that have lots of ports of call and you're getting off every day or every 2 days and there's lots of shows, there's so much to do on the ship. See, my parents literally go on they're the people that go on a cruise and then they do the whole, like, I get off the cruise because I have to, because they make you get off the cruise.
And then jump right back
and then
on.
as soon as they're done turning it over, they get right back on the same cruise. And then they literally live on cruises. They love them. And so I'm always talking to them and they're making me want to go on a cruise. We just haven't done it yet because COVID and everything.
Yeah.
Right. I think
We were
you
really
should do
planning on doing it.
Do it
Right.
and bring that content to your channel. I think it would be amazing. And people would love that. JoJo and Kyle have done great doing cruising stuff. Let me welcome in Surfer Girl real quick. Welcome in Cherie. Thank you for coming in. I see Simon Rogers, our good friend, is here. Simon, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. And Anthony, the Molar Man, as well. Guys, I'm sitting here, if you're just coming in, talking with the Nova Way. They're an amazing channel that I found looking through for great new Disney content. They sparked my interest. I hit the subscribe, started following them. I reached out and said, hey, would you guys like to come on? And that's how we're here today. They are featured on Instagram. They're over on TikTok. They're on Facebook. And obviously right here, if you're having a good time, my moderators are dropping the link. Please give them a follow. And if you're brand new to me tonight, there is over 300 4K HD Disney videos on this channel, and I interview Disney creators every week. Hit that subscribe today as you're doing it. Let's talk about your content for a second here as we're sitting here. Your playlist, and I want to kind of talk about that, and you can kind of pick a couple and highlight them. This is not all-encompassing, guys, because there's 27 playlists on their channel. Disney Halloween, Halloween Horror Nights, Epic Universe, Universal Mardi Gras, Festival of the Holidays, weekly news updates. That sounds cool. Disney Christmas, Universal Parks. I'm getting tired. Foodies. There's so much great content I can't keep up. Universal Foodies, Disney merchandise, Disney Foodies, Disney World Parks. And like I said, that's not everything. Tell me a little bit about what the magic is that people will find on your playlist. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we try to do content for all the different types of things that people would be interested in. Obviously, things like Halloween Horror Nights is a big one right now, right? People are very interested in Halloween Horror Nights. So we create a playlist for them. So if they're interested in all that content, they can stick to it. But we also do really cool stuff around, we try to do weekly news updates, right? Just giving you all the news because I feel like there's so much news out there around Disney. And it's not just Disney, it's all the theme parks. We try to cover different areas around the Orlando area. There's so much news out there, you don't really know what to pay attention to. So we try to like curate it down to like the most interesting nuggets and just give it to you in a quick 15-minute video. But then we also do things like our top 5 series, which is all around like top 5 of what? Top 5 attractions, top 5 food items, top 5 restaurants, top 5, all sorts of different things. Top 5 photo opportunities in the parks. Nice. People are always asking, where can we get great photos that aren't necessarily the cast member photos, right? The sort of photo ops that you get there. And so we create videos around that. Then we do our versus episodes, which is like this versus this. Like, we do all this like judging and like numerically, saying like it gets a 10 out of 10 on this and a 5 out of 10 on this. as far as like, do you think Space Mountain's better, or do you think Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is better? And we give our opinion, and you may get mad about that, but it's just our opinion, you know. We do things like Hot or Not as well, which is kind of a fun take.
He thinks everything's hot, and it's not.
You know, we did like a fun take on Hot or Not, because it's like you think hot or not, you know, that's a popular thing, right? Hot or not, but they're talking about people. What we're talking about is like spice level of foods. Nice. So it's like, is this hot or not? And she's the one who eats all the hot, spicy food. Like, she grew up with like a hot sauce in her pocket kind of thing, you know, and I'm the one who like eats a barbecue potato chip, and I'm like, whoo, boy, that's spicy. I can't eat that barbecue potato chip. So it's a really good combination of us just like giving our opinion on like, is something hot or something not, for people who like spicy food and people who are trying to avoid spicy foods.
I love it.
And then, yeah, Disney parks, SeaWorld trips. We do beach trips as well. So there's just lots of different content that you may or may not be interested in.
Awesome. I love that. Welcome in Dan Disney Worlders. That's our partner. We'll talk about him a little bit later. We talked about him earlier, actually, with his Facebook group. The King would like to know, do you know Adam the Woo? I know Adam. Do you know Adam by chance? Have you ever met Adam?
I follow Adam. I don't know him. I've never met Adam. He's one of the few actual followers that I feel like we've never met.
Other than that Tampa love, as I tell him all the time, he's got the wrong team. He hasn't figured it out yet. But we appreciate Adam. He's does a great job. Max Noble, welcome in. Thank you for joining us here with us.
That's our son.
There you go.
Our youngest son.
I love seeing your family come out and support you tonight. That's fantastic as well. Let's talk for a little bit about another topic outside. What parks have you guys attended, and what parks is on the long-term bucket list for you guys that you want to attend?
Absolutely. We've been so obviously all the Disney parks in the United States, right? So Orlando. We've been to the California parks. We've been to Paris, the Paris parks. And same with Universal, all the Universals and SeaWorlds. We haven't been to every SeaWorld. We've been to a lot of them. Discovery Cove. We do a lot of Kings Island content too, because we do periodically go back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing video on The Haunt, which I think is actually one of the best Halloween.
It was rated number one.
Rated number one Halloween in the country. Yeah. Even more, I mean, people talk a lot about Halloween Horror Nights and how amazing it is, but The Haunt is actually an amazing Halloween event, and it's free. It's included in the pass. So unlike some of the other ones where you have to pay extra to go to their events, this is actually included in your pass, and it's such an amazing event. So we're going to be doing video on that.
We grew up going to Kings
100%.
Island our whole life. So.
Nice.
But my bucket list, I really, really want to go to the Disney parks over in Asia Pac, you know, those different like Tokyo and so on, because there are just some really cool things there, and also Universal as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know a lot of that stuff is coming to Epic Universe, which I am super pumped.
Too.
We've done videos on Epic Universe and all the speculations and everything. And I couldn't be more excited about that, but some of that stuff already exists in some of these other parks. So that's kind of the bucket list parks for me.
Well, and here's the thing, guys. If you're tuning in, whether you're live tonight with us or you're watching us on the replay, there is so much great content from what they're talking about here, what I've highlighted on their channel. You got plenty of things that you can go through over there and find the magic that they bring. We haven't even touched base, and let's hit on it now because it's a perfect transition. Food reviews. You guys are huge foodies. And I love that about you guys. I can't wait to come down and call you up and say, hey, I'm coming into town. I'm going to be going around the world and eat, and come eat around the world with me. Talk a little bit about the magic and love you have when it comes to being a foodie.
Yeah.
Well, I just love trying all the different foods. And typically, I mean, you don't get to try those at restaurants. You're not going to go and be like, oh, I'm going to get this thing that I've never tried. It seems weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to go ahead and try it. Where at the festivals, you just go around the World Showcase and you're like, well, you know, because some things are only like $4 or $6. Mm-hmm. Some are a little bit more. And you're like, well, if I don't like it, like I don't have to eat it all, or I'll just try something else. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it comes from like, we're just like everybody else when it comes to like, I think eating. A lot of people, you get stuck in a rut. Like you stick to your favorites. You kind of eat the same thing over and over again. And at one point we just kind of decided together, we're like, you know what? Let's make it to where like every time we go out to eat, it's going to be somewhere different. I mean, not every time, but at least like once or twice a week, let's try to go somewhere we've never gone. And if we go to places that we've been, let's try to eat something. Let's try to order something that's not something we ever have ordered before. Because otherwise we just kind of get, we just eat the same things. And so by doing that, we've just found so many amazing things. And we know that people one of the biggest things that people do when they go on vacation is eat. You know, when they come to theme parks, they come on vacation, it's all about food and the restaurants.
Snacks.
Like, because when we would come back in the day, the very biggest thing on our list was we have to hit this restaurant. We'd have a list like this restaurant, this restaurant, this restaurant. We had all of our favorites. And so it's the same thing. Like, we try to give people like advice on, these are the restaurants that are really great. Show some samplings of the food. Show
Don't
some
waste
prices.
your time on these certain things. Waste time and money. Do waste your time or money.
Yeah,
on
let
this.
us do the wasting of the time, right? Because
Like,
you know,
just
like
go
one of the worst things is like I spent all this money and my one out of like maybe 8 meals I had for my whole vacation, and I spent it on this place that was terrible, and I wasted all this money.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bad thing. So we try to help people with that.
Well, and I want to highlight one piece off that too. But first, I want to acknowledge Danielle, who I love. She is kind of the like on the Avengers team when it comes to Loungefly bags. She knows it. She just said, "Hey, I just subscribed. So many different videos to watch and enjoy." And Wonderful World of Walter, they just subscribed. Said, "Hey, +1 sub here too," and left it up to go watch for a few tonight. And like that sub in. So thank you both for subscribing to them tonight. What I loved about your food reviews and everything, yes, you're very honest and straightforward. You can tell it's just a natural reaction. It's not something where you're placating to someone else or to Disney or whatever. You're just giving things. But you engage with your people. You welcome the people to come back and comment on your videos and do all that and to engage with you. And, you know, from general reaction that I've seen, you also follow up with a lot of people that get back with you, which I think is really cool. Enough people don't do that enough. We'll talk about your favorite restaurant and all that kind of stuff in just a couple minutes when we hit the hotspot go. I wanted to ask you specifically about one of your playlists, and that is the fact of Halloween Horror Nights. We are in that time frame of year. That's a magical thing. You're either all in with Halloween Horror Nights or you're not. From what I've seen with people, talk about your magic and love. And hey, thank you to Ride the Teacup. Steve says, hey, another sub here from our family. I'll probably binge the channel till I watch Thor tonight. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you, buddy. Talk to me about Halloween Horror Nights and the magic and love you guys have in that.
Yeah. Okay. She poked me again. Sorry. I know that's the thing. I always try to get her to talk more because I tend to be a big talker and she tends to be
He's a big mouth.
You couldn't tell it by now, but I don't know. She poked me, so I'm going to talk. I love Halloween. Like, I'm not a fan of cold weather. I mean, I'm just not. Like,
No.
I was when I was younger. We got older, and we no longer like the cold. But there's just something about as the weather turns and the leaves start falling, and this memory that I have of like taking our kids out trick or treating and going to haunted houses and things as they got older. There's just something magical about that for me. So I still have like and actually we were the family that like had the 18 and 19-year-old kids going trick-or-treating. Like, you know, the ones like when people were like,
It's still
they're like, wait a minute, that's too old for trick-or-treating. I mean, our kids were like, I don't care. We're doing it.
And,
like,
and they wanted us to go with them. So we're still going out with our like 18-year-old kids trick-or-treating.
You know, and
True
so
story.
It just is what it is, you know, and I just love, we love that whole ambiance of the Halloween things. And so Halloween Horror Nights, for sure. I mean, it's just a big one. Any of the Halloween stuff, we actually got a media preview coming up for a haunted trail coming up, which I'm really excited about. Nice. They invited us out to, but we're going to be doing a lot more Halloween content. Halloween Horror Nights, I've been really excited about. There's some content that we did some videos, like speculation maps. Like I actually created our own speculation map for where all of the houses and scare zones and everything were going to be, even before it was posted through like leaks that people had done and sent in and stuff. So we're just it's pretty fun. I'm passionate about it. And we've been multiple times already. We were there on opening night and it was a blast. I'm
amazed by how much detail they put into the houses. I don't even go through and like, oh, I'm scared. What I'm really focusing on is all the detail, because that just speaks to me of the houses. Because the houses at the Haunt Kings Island aren't really that detailed. They're awesome, but they're not like they are here. And the costumes and the makeup, I mean, it's like you're on a movie set or like in a movie. It's like you're actually in a scary movie.
That's fantastic.
It was that way with Christmas too, with all the makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. I love that. So here's what I want to do. First off, I want to acknowledge Debbie says, hey, I also just subscribed to their channel. They sound like just such a wonderful couple. Looking forward to watching their content. That is a great transition for me right now because what I want to do is tell everybody, look, I'm going to hit our community segments real quick. I'm going to give Steve and Candy a chance just to get a breath for a second. When we come back, I want to talk to them about where they're going with their long-term plans. We're going to hit them up with some hot take, quick answer questions so that you guys can get to know them a little bit better. Guys, they're featured on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They're on Facebook. They're blowing it up here in the little bit of time that they've been doing YouTube. You know me. I go out and I find quality people, quality channels combined to try to bring you some of the next great creators coming up in our Disney community. If you haven't noticed it tonight with the magic between the two of these people, you're missing it out. A lot of you have, and thank you for everybody subscribing tonight. You guys hang tight for a second, okay? While you're doing it, you can figure out how you're going to trick or treat at the next event you're going to do. Because Steve's already ready. I think he's already got a suitcase over there ready to go into Halloween Horror Nights, taking out the candy. I'll hit the community events. We'll come back and finish out with you guys in just a second, if that's all right with you.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to drop down here. First section we're going to hit, guys, if you're new to me, I do a couple different community segments. And hopefully we'll be seeing the Noble Way in some of these community segments down the road. This is People in the Parks. It's brought to you by the Disney Baker. If one of my moderators could drop his link into the chat, I'd really appreciate it. The Baker's an amazing creator here in the Disney community and executive producer for us. This is where people are out in the parks. And from social media or them sending it to me directly, I get the pictures of them. Kyle's out for D23. That's a great picture of him sitting down, looking down at the castle. Dizzard Dream hanging out. He's over at Animal Kingdom. He was over there meeting and greeting. Love that. Great picture there. If you didn't see Justin's interview with Bob Gurr on his podcast, you missed one of the best interviews I've ever heard in my life. Go over and check that out. There's Justin and Bob together. Bob Gurr, an amazing person. Ear to Ear Magic, he got to see Chip and Dale in the brand new, or I should say their brought back meet and greet that they had in their costumes there. Love seeing Chris over there. Carlos Disney World Freak got to hang out with Doreen Jones and her family up in Boston lately. Got this picture sent over to me. Love that. JoJo's, he's taking his world. He's out there in California for D23 doing a little meet and greet himself with Mickey and Minnie. This is a great one. Jeanette, Sebastian the Crab was hanging out with Dizzard Dream, had dinner with them. I got this picture sent to me on text the other day. I added that one in. Mouse Talk, Melissa and Walt hanging out with the Hatbox Ghost. Not the one from our community, the actual one from Disney. Great picture there. They're doing gang signs. I don't appreciate Walt doing gang signs, but hey, it is what it is. He's Mouse Talk. What are you going to do? And I love this picture. This is one of the best. If you don't know Provost, I absolutely love these guys. They've been on our show as guests before. That is a great costume. Lumiere. I mean, look at him. Unbelievable. His wife looks gorgeous. They even got their kids involved. It's awesome. Provost Park Pass, everybody, out at the Oogie Boogie Batch. Hey, Magical Mail. We didn't have any mail this week. We went over and checked it, but if anybody'd like to send mail, my son loves to open it. Magical Mail brought to you by, it's that time of year where you're going to be sending people treats. It's all great when you're talking about our friends at Main Street.
Main Street Treat brings Disney to you. Hey, we're Rob and Mel from Disney Connections and the new owners of Main Street Treat Company. So come visit us over at mainstreettreat.com to order your treats today.
I love Main Street Treats, everybody. Man, gets me hungry. Casey's Corner of the World. He's a friend. He's an executive producer, and he is the key component that brings you this week and highlights all this great creativity by people that are having success in the community. This week, we'd like to recognize Molly Fitzbrown. She just went over 5,000 subscribers on her channel. Mouse Vibes out in California just went over 7,000. Love Mouse Vibes. They'll be on the channel a little later on this year. Ava Loves Disney. Ava was just on not that long ago with Mark. She just went over 7,000, is almost towards 8 herself. Congratulations. Ear to Ear Magic. Chris and Susan killing it, up over 13K. And our friend Disney Pin Blog, Ryan, is killing it. He's up over 18,000. We recognize everybody as they hit their thousands up to a 20. And then once it's 20, it's 5,000 after that. That's what we do. If you're not sharing with me your accomplishments to share with the community, you are missing out on a great opportunity for more people to find your channel. Last segment before we bring our guests back is the amazing, the awesome, the race to 100K. You have to be absolutely dynamic to be in this race. Brought to you by
Hello, everyone. It's Chris with Disney Dynamics. We bring you tons of Disney content with a little bit of humor. My mom thinks I'm funny anyways. 4K unboxings of Disney merch and promo codes to save you money. We bring you live to Disney parks, and then after the sun goes down, we head to Disney After Dark, where we mix Disney-inspired drinks and have slightly inappropriate conversations with our Disney friends. If that sounds good to you, you're just the right amount of weird to fit right in. That's Disney Dynamics, spelt with a K for some reason.
All right, the race for 100K is heating up. We have a new top three for the first time in about 7 weeks. It's a new top three. Big Fat Panda still sitting at number one, just under 200 subscribers away from 100K. Theme Park Steve is destroying it out in California right now. He's up to 99.2. And Mammoth Club, Molly, oh my God, unbelievable. You know, what are you going to do when the Mammoth Club starts out their channel? They took a huge leap to leave All Ears and to do their own thing. And look at them. After a month, they're at 97.4. They brought that following over to the club. Congratulations. They're going to be over 100K probably next week when we do this show. Balanced part of the race is pretty much the same. Best Life and Beyond fell down to number 4, but still an amazing channel at 93,000. You see everybody all the way down to 40K. Some amazing channels in here. Again, if you're here for the first time, we're not asking you to subscribe to all these channels. What we are asking you to do is take a look, punch in their name, open up their channel, check out their content, and then if you like what they're doing, subscribe like crazy. That's what we want because we want you watching their content. Check out all these people, 34,000 down to 20, streaming the magic all the way down to Leg Life, Magical News Live, Heather and Tanya and Cherry all in that mix. Some amazing people. Our good friends at AID just changed his channel name to Hey Bricky. That's not a change in channel. It's just a change in channel name. So Hey Bricky now just crossing the line there. WW Radio, that's Lou Mangello. He leads off the top at 18.8 down to 13.3, our partner channel in Mouse Talk. Again, a lot of double-digit craziness in here. The Leffersons, Diz Cupcake, Magical Dads, Diz Life, some amazing people in the race. Finishing out 13 down to just under 10. Look at all these people in double digits now. I'm telling you, just 3 months ago, they were all in the 6,000 to 8,000 range. Look at them now. Paul, Vincent, Drew, Chris at Ear to Ear, Attractions Live, Mike, Dave K, Magical Moments, all in the 10,000 range. Diz Our Dream, right under the number. One Little Spark jumped up to 9.8, leading the list this week, all the way down to 7.3 with Wonders of Magic. Again, some amazing people in here. Chip & Co., our partner channel in Disney Media. You got some great channels from Florida here with Living in Diz, with Brian and Amanda, with Ava, and then California with Wonders of Magic, and our friends Becky plus Eli. Finishing out the back half of the race, 7.3 down to 5.1. Mickey's Magic down to Florida Park Explorers. Mouse Fi's in here. Mouse Talk in here. Turner's in here. Dad Got Park, Steve's World, just to name a few. We love all these channels and amazing creators. Everybody has to start somewhere, and that's where we're at. Molly, 5,000 down to 3. Brandy and Dave. Crystal, Midlife. The Orlando guy, Donna Jaworski. She's amazing. Mickey's girl, Danielle, was in here earlier. She's on the board at 4.35. Rob Fuzz, everybody. Check out these great people. They are absolutely incredible. We love them all. Finally, as I get ready to bring my guests back, let me remind you that Disney News and Merch every Friday night at 10 o'clock. The Nobles have a open invitation to come back in anytime and hang out with us. That is a Friday night hangout for news and merch. Any creator that has been and done my show is welcome to come on and join Dad Builds and I as we talk news and merch. This Friday night, it's going to be all about D23. Coming up in a future Sunday, 2 weeks from now, it'll be our next guest on Off the Wall. It will be Ryan McDowell. That's right, the Rye Guy, the animal. He's coming to the channel. I can't wait for that. If you want to see a crazy interview, that'll be the night. Make sure you're not drinking when I'm asking questions because the answers might get you a spit take. It'll be kind of crazy. The next Wednesday, we've got a double shot. Next Wednesday, a double shot. 2 creators. We're going to do a 6 and an 8 o'clock. I have some interviews to make up from a couple things when I had some medical challenges. So Adventures by Carney. Pete and the Carney Crazies will be here in the early slot interviewing with us. And then in the later slot, coming out of California, probably one of the better TikTokers that I've met, the Lost Boys and Girls. I'm not sure how many of them are coming. It's a group. I'll take as many as I can get. They are guaranteed and confirmed. They reached out to me today and said they will be here next Wednesday. Again, my guest, you'll see them coming up here as we bring up the share screens. We both come up. That is their channel right there, The Noble Way. They're found on Instagram. They're found on TikTok. They've got a Facebook page. And guys, they're drumming it up, building up the content that they do over there. We're excited to do it. As we sit here tonight, let's talk about this before we get into the hot spots. You know, what is your long-term plan for your channel? If you had to say, hey, where would I like to be in 5 years? You know, what's your thoughts on where you'd like to be? Is it Disney Media? Is it just taking it easy? Where would you like to be?
Where I want to be in a place where when I go, if I go to a park or I go to any particular location, is somebody maybe recognizes us, that they come up and they just say, hey, just want to let you know you helped us out. Like every time, that's really what we care about. Like every time somebody comes up to us in the park and says, hey, I got Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind because I watched your video. Or, hey, you know, I can't believe, like we had a Universal employee not but a couple of days ago come up to us and say, I just want you to let you know that Epic Universe video you did was amazing. And I learned all of the stuff I wanted to know about Epic Universe from you, not from Universal. Like literally that to me, that's just what it's about. To me, it doesn't really matter to me if we get bigger or some sort of media or anything like that. It's more just, I get so much life and satisfaction out of people just coming and saying, hey, you helped us out. And that's all I care about. So the only reason I would want to even get bigger is just so that happens more often. It really is just so that anytime somebody comes up to us, that's what I hear.
I love it. Candy, on board with that or anything different? Or?
Yes. No, I love when people come up, I'm always so shocked. Sorry. Sorry, I had to cough. When people come up sometimes and they'll say, oh my gosh, The Noble Way, we got our pass because of you, or thank you for your video because I figured out where to eat or something. I'm like, oh, well, actually, this is helping people. And I mean, like helping people. For me, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into doing like this, you know, Pete, right? Like this is like a big part of your life. Like you have to be super passionate. I think a lot of people start and they just think I'll just post a few videos and then I got a million followers. And it's like, no, it's a lot of effort. And there are moments that we go through that we get down. Like you get down and you think, are we helping anybody? And I'm not kidding you. Like every single time I have a down moment, that day when we go to the park, somebody will come up to us and say, oh my gosh, we saw and it just, I mean, literally every single time. It's so crazy to me because it's like in that moment that I need somebody to lift me up, somebody from this community nails it. They do it and they don't even know it. They don't know that I'm down. They don't know that I'm, questioning things and that happens every single time. So for me, it's awesome.
Love it. All right, so let's do a little bit of speed round here. As I like to say, it's kind of like my version of taking Johnny Depp and throwing him onto Space Mountain right after you've given him a bottle of Jolt. Is what I like to look at it. So let's have some fun. The answers will go first. We're going to go to Candy first on the answers. Ladies first. Just want whatever quick comes to your mind. Let's start out with favorite park. Favorite park out of everything in the world. What's your favorite park?
Magic Kingdom.
Nice.
Magic Kingdom.
Nice. Steve?
Magic Kingdom. I mean, it really is.
Love it.
100%. There's nothing like it.
If I tell you right now, I can teleport you like Wong and you can rope drop a ride right now, walk right onto it. What ride is it for either one of you?
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Nice.
That's hard to say.
Nice. Love it. Steve?
My answer is going to be the same as you had a guest on your show last week, 2 weeks ago that said the same thing. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind for me. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, if somebody said Space Mountain or Guardians of the Galaxy, we actually did a versus episode between those two rides. You should check it out because you'd be shocked at which one came out on top.
I was surprised.
I won't spoil it, but
I was surprised.
But really, like for me, Guardians. I mean, there is something about the fact that it's new. There's still some newness to it and excitement for me. But we've actually ridden Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, I think, over 50 times already since it came out.
Wow, that's 48 more than me. Congratulations.
My son Max Saul just said Flight of Passage is the best. So
Yeah,
he is part of the Noble Way.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be a difference there. Let's talk about Epcot. Epcot, for each of you, what is your favorite pavilion to go to?
Pavilion to
I
go
know
to probably Japan because I like the
Good one.
store. I just like the whole Japan area. The
That's a
store
great
is
one.
huge. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Steve?
For me, I think mine's Canada, and that's mostly because of the food.
Okay.
Well, I like Mexico too, but Canada, for some reason, they just hit home runs every festival with every
They
food
do.
booth, and I'm all about the food and snacks. But literally, their food is just phenomenal. I say it in our videos. I'm like, apparently, we need to move to Canada because I love all the food there.
I back you up. When I was sitting down there, I was talking with Jackie, super enthused Jackie, and having a conversation. And I literally turned my back for a second, and my son had 5 steaks in front of him at the festival. And I'm like, "Did you buy 5 steaks?" He's like, "They're small, Dad, and they're all good." And I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I agree with you. I back it up on the food 100%. Left or right when you walk into World Showcase? Are you going toward Mexico or toward Canada?
Oh, left towards Mexico.
Yeah, we always go left, and then we force ourselves to go right sometimes.
Yes, and it is
purposely.
for some reason it is a force. We're like, I guess we'll go that way. I don't know what.
I think it has to do it's one of the tips that we give people. Like, we trained ourselves for years to always go left in any situation at Disney or Universal because people naturally go to the right. So when they go, if you see 2 lines, get on the one on the left because it's probably going to be shorter, it's going to be faster, so on and so forth. And I think just that left mentality makes us always go to the left.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant on property?
Yak and Yeti at
Nice.
Animal Kingdom.
Yes, that's a great one.
Definitely Yak and Yeti.
Love
I
that.
got to say, and the funny thing is, Yak and Yeti's not actually a Disney restaurant.
No,
it's not.
It's a Landry's.
It's a Landry's.
So get that Landry's card. You never have to wait in line.
Discount, no wait in line. That's great call out. Favorite park snack? You can have any one right now. I can wong it to you. What is it?
Mickey pretzel with cheese.
Oh, yes.
It's my favorite. The cheese is salty, and I love everything salty. Love it.
Mine's a caramel apple with stuff on it. And
Nice.
it doesn't matter to me what's. That's it. Caramel apple.
Love it. I love it. Let's finish up with this one. Your favorite nighttime show all time for either one of you in the park.
Oh gosh, I can never pick between Wishes and Happily Ever After.
I'll
I
allow
will
both.
say Happily Ever.
I'll allow both for you tonight, Candy, because
I'll get both.
you get both. Steve, you don't
For
get
me,
both.
it's
You get to pick. You got to pick one. She gets both.
For me, I have a toss up too because if I went straight fireworks, it's Wishes. If I go straight show, it's probably Tapestry of Dreams Parade at Epcot.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Great
the
call.
most phenomenal show I have ever seen. I was so sad when they took it away because of the giant things that were attached to all the people's backs, and it was giving people back problems. So they had to shut. It was one of the reasons to shut it down.
That's an
But
amazing
yeah,
call.
for sure. Those are the 2.
So let me finish up tonight with one question. If you could do one thing together with either Walt or Roy, who do you choose, and what do you want to do?
I would choose Walt. And I think I would just walk around probably Magic Kingdom and just get his thoughts on what he thinks about Disney today versus when he was alive, and just the differences and what he likes and what he doesn't necessarily like.
I love it. Steve?
It's a tough one for me because there would be no Walt without Roy. There would be no Disney without Roy. But there's something about Walt Disney for me. I grew up reading his books, learning about how he sparked creativity and innovation. I've applied that in my career as I went forward in my life and my principles. And I think for me, it has to be Walt. And, you know, I've actually sat on the bench in California at the Walt Disney Museum where, you know, they say he kind of dreamt up the idea for Disney as he was watching his daughter on the carousel every, week and so on. And I think for me, it would just be to sit with Walt somewhere on Main Street, maybe in front of the castle on a bench, and just let and observe Walt
Take it all in.
just taking in all the amazing things that he created.
Yeah.
And just let him breathe and just let him enjoy the moment. I feel like I wouldn't even bother him or ask him a question. I would just want to sit with him for an hour in silence and watch as he
That's one of the best
enjoyed
answers I've ever had. to be honest with you. I love that. Let's finish it up with a final thought of the night as we come to conclusion. Before we do, I want to remind everybody, guys, if you've had a great time watching this interview, hit them up. If you like what they're talking, you like the content they're bringing, you looked over, you said, hey, it's neat. I'm going to follow you because I want to watch your videos. Hit it up. And if you want to come back and do more interviews with me or watch one of the almost 300 plus, I don't know, whatever it is, HK Disney videos here of rides, events, and everything, hit us up today with a follow here. Final thought from you guys from your side of the kitchen sink.
You got it.
Go. Okay. Well, you have to say something. I'm gonna make. No. I mean, for me, I just want to say, Pete. I do want to say, I'm so glad that we met. I'm so glad that you talked to us. You brought us into this. I have looked at a lot of things on your channel for many, many weeks now since you first contacted us, and I think you're doing amazing work. I just think it's so amazing that somebody out there. I feel like you can feel that you're not in it for yourself, that you're in it for other people and like trying to build a better community and a better positive world. And I just love that about you. I think you're a great person. I hope we get to meet in person soon. I think it would be awesome. And because for us, it's the same thing. We're just really we want to spread positivity and just be helpful. And I that's what it's about for me. And that's what I'm going to continue doing. What's your final thought?
I think it's very helpful that you're doing this and you're helping us help others. So that's helpful for us. So we got more subscribers. I was watching people say stuff in the little feed right there. And so this just helps us and, and it lifts our spirits and knowing that we're doing something that people enjoy. And that it's a great thing to share our love for Disney in all of Orlando, really.
I love it. Well,
and my last thought is chat. We want people to talk to us.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes people, because if I see other vloggers in the parks and things, sometimes I feel like I should just leave them alone. But like, we want people to just talk to us. Like all the time people are like, hey, I saw you in the park. And I'm like, next time you see us, come up and say hi. Because we're just people. We love to be around other people and just, we don't have a lot of friends. I mean, if I'm being honest, we don't, our friends are our family. So we're always looking for new friends to like.
Oh, that's great.
Our friends.
I love it. For my final thought of the night, first, again, I say thank you for coming on. Secondly, you talked about the fact of people walking up to you and saying, hey, your stuff inspired me, and that's what you look for. I think that's a huge aspect. I'll tell you tonight that I found your channel on a day that I was having an incredibly bad pain day when I found your channel the first day, and watching it put a smile on my face that day. So thank you for doing that for me that day. I appreciate that. Guys, again, do me a favor. Do for them, do for everybody else as we finish out tonight. If you got somebody you're following, tube it up for them, okay? Go over to their channel, watch their content first. Watch their content if you like them. Then if you do, share them out, hit the like, leave a comment. If you really like them and you want to come back, please subscribe. Hopefully you'll do that for the Noble Way tonight. And again, you can help your biggest creators and your smallest creators by doing one simple thing. Give them 10 minutes of your time. If you tune into a video, don't just click in, click out, leave a like. Do a like before or a like after. You really want to help your creators. Give them 10 minutes of your time or more, and their watch time will grow. YouTube will share them out more. Maybe more people will find them. I'm hoping at some point we see you guys, Steve and Candy, in here on a Friday night, stopping by. It's an open invitation to stop by and say hello. And hopefully in the near future, when you guys go over 3,000, which is the minimum number to get in for the race for 100K, I hope to see the Noble Ways logo up on my screen, and we're talking about you guys every week. For the Noble Way, Steve, Candy, and their bag of candy that they're going to go get apparently the next time they go over to Halloween Horror Nights. For all my friends, join us again Friday night at 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, somewhere in there. Dad Builds and I will start whenever he lets me. I never know when he's going to let me. And we will see you real soon. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, Musketeers, for joining the party. We'll be looking for you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, all.